Hello everyone, welcome back to another build time lapse. Today we are building an oasis town because I don't want my content to get too dry.
I hate to be that guy, but you've already made that joke before.
What? No I haven't.
Yeah, right here.
I built this desert oasis so my content doesn't get dry.
Okay, but that was almost 7 years ago.
Fine, you get a pass. This time.
Hello again. Today I am building Dejnala Oasis, a verdant sanctuary of life among the vast dunes of the desert. I start off by making these large mesas all around the oasis out of placeholder blocks. I then give them a quick texturing. Here I start to place some waterfalls and palm trees around the terrain. I make some of the houses that will go around the oasis. For these houses, I draw inspiration from various kinds of desert architecture, including Arabic, Mediterranean, and American pueblos. I also decided to add splashes of color to these houses using glazed terracotta. Here I create a community living area with multiple houses stuck together as well as a tower. Doing all the interiors here took some time, but I wanted to make sure that it feels livable. I feel like I could use a few smaller houses here as well. Though I didn't make pyramids, I want some sort of Egyptian influence, so I make some mystical obelisks. Now for the fun part, I paste all these assets that I just made all over the sides of the oasis. So I was thinking about what kind of interesting things could go in a fantasy oasis build, and I eventually came across this image of the Lotus Temple in Delhi, India. I thought it would be neat to have my own version here, so I made this design with 3 layers of 6 petals. Initially I colored it in with sandy blocks, but it didn't really look right to me like that. I switched it to a white-pink gradient, and I think it looks much better that way. Here I make an Arabic-inspired geometric pattern with waterlogged stairs, and then color it in with glazed terracotta. At this point in the build, I still had the feeling that I needed more, so I got the idea of making a centerpiece build. I settled on a large palace-like structure with a garden area inspired by the hanging gardens of Mesopotamia. The structure will have 3 domed towers, one large central one flanked by 2 smaller ones on the side. Each dome is supported by these 8 smaller towers. Now I work on the garden area. The gardens will have 2 main layers and an entryway below with pools that shimmer in the desert heat. Here I build one of the side towers, which are basically just smaller versions of the central one. I start to fill in the placeholder blocks with the actual textures. I also make these water channels with waterfalls going down from each layer. Here I detail the inside of the central tower. Now it's time to paste in the palm trees. I decided to update the palm trees with some shaping blocks to make them smoother as well as make another tree. Here I work on finishing the exterior details and texturing. Now I move on to the interior. I copy the geometric pattern from earlier onto the floor here. I make 2 areas of worship. The first one is of the Azurite Fivefold Pantheon, which you may be familiar with from previous videos on my channel, but if not, you should check them out. The second area is dedicated to Zolazar, the Jinn god of elemental harmony and patron deity of many desert folk. Although there are some tensions between his worshippers and those of the 5, this palace is dedicated to neutral territory. Here I build the council chambers. This is where the city's viziers come to discuss matters of governance. Now it's time to build the city walls. I start with this cardinally angled tileable wall section. I then move on to this other more funky angled wall section. Now I make the farm area. I actually started this farm beforehand, but found it better to rearrange the clips so that it was more seamless. I then paste the wall assets I made around this area with a drain that allows water from the oasis to hydrate the farm. Here I make an entrance to the city. Although it isn't really a gothic build, I thought it wouldn't look bad to have a gothic style arch for the gateway. I also reused the technique of using piston heads as a portcullis from my Northwind video. I go back to the lotus-shaped building to turn it into a little bazaar with some market stand assets, as well as a shawarma stand and a pottery area. Here I work on this area that connects to the sea. I make this quicksand delta to discourage people from trying to sneak in through this area. Lastly, I decide to add one more house here. This house belongs to the town alchemist who studies the healing properties of the water here. And with that done, the build is complete.